The Supreme Court has upheld the Bombay High Court judgment in the 2006 Mumbai BMW hit-and-run case today. In fact, Alistair Pereira, the man convicted by the High Court, will now have to serve a 3-year prison as had been stated by the Bombay High Court. The court was hearing an appeal filed by Pereira challenging the Bombay High Court order. The High Court had convicted him of running over and killing 7 pavement dwellers and injuring 14 others in the 2006 incident. He was convicted for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. The court also increased his sentence from 6 months given by a trial court to 3 years. Pereira filed an appeal in the Supreme Court against the verdict. The Supreme Court granted him bail, but the 2-judge bench differed on the quantum of sentence to be handed out to him. The case was then referred to a larger bench that gave out its verdict today. In fact, this is how things stand right now. The news that we're breaking to as far as Alistair Pereira is concerned. Let's get in our correspondent Kunal Shankar, who was following this case for us. He's now joining us on the show. Kunal, as far as Alistair Pereira is concerned, a big setback coming in for him.
That's right, absolutely. Alistair Pereira now has to go to jail for another 3 years. If you remember, he had served only 1 month in jail and then had obtained bail right after that. The Supreme Court, as you're pointing out, differed on the quantum, but today a bench led by Justice R.M. Lodha as well as Justice H.L. Dattu have decided that he should serve his 3-year sentence that was handed down to him by the Bombay High Court. It was just a very brief summation of the judgment. Within 5 seconds, all of it was over. The judge simply said he dismissed Pereira's appeal, cancelled his bail bond, and said that Pereira has to surrender any time now. So a big setback indeed, and probably a sense of justice for several of those, for 7 of those who were killed and 14 injured in that 2006 accident.
Well, that's the thing about this case, Kunal. At the end of the day, everybody, I think across the entire country, people had been hoping that there would be some kind of punitive action that's taken against Alistair Pereira, given the sort of mowing down he was involved in. But today, also as far as Alistair Pereira is concerned, any kind of options really that the man has in front of him, even after the quantum of sentence has been handed out to him?
Well, the only thing that he can do is to file a review petition in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, after all, is the apex court. It's the final appeals court.
That's right.
And if he chooses to, he can file a review petition, which could be considered. But in matters like this, there haven't been too many precedents where such reviews have been filed. But that option does indeed exist for him. We must wait and see if he exercises that. But even if he does, it would be probably highly unlikely that the court would decide on it anytime soon, or indeed grant him any sort of interim relief if he chooses to come to the court again.
Kunal, also as far as cases like these are concerned, you know, there is somewhere that entire idea of setting some kind of an example, setting some kind of a precedent. Do we see that also happening as far as the Supreme Court coming out and deciding the quantum of punishment in this case is concerned?
Well, I think the court is acutely aware. We must remember that this isn't just the first case of, hit and run and pavement dwellers being affected by drunken driving. Indeed, it has happened earlier. Delhi, in fact, has another BMW sensational hit and run case. So, given the fact that this has become a sort of an infamous class issue where the rich are considered to be having the power to abuse, the rules, violate rules. It is indeed, Supreme Court probably is indeed very aware of that and would want to at least show that it is sensitive to the issue and therefore has to sort of pronounce something that is becoming as a punishment for such violations.
All right, Kunal Shankar, many thanks for having broken this story to us and for having joined us with the details of this case. As far as Alistair Pereira is concerned, a big setback coming into him. He will now have to serve 3 years in jail. The Supreme Court upholding the verdict that had been coming forward from the Bombay High Court on this case.